Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Pseudo Ludo. This week I'm joined by just my friend Nick. Brian isn't able to make it today. He's got a new dog, and apparently,
it's really giving him a hard time.
It's a bit taxing, So,
it's
he took the week off.
Pretty incredible that he decided to move into a new place and get a new dog all within like 2 months.
Yeah, he's actually just playing Nintendogs VR. It's a secret early release, so he'll have a review of that next week. But we're here. We're going to talk about some big news points, like Microsoft buying Bethesda outright. And
I haven't heard of it.
What we've been playing. Apparently, this company makes some kind of game called Skyrim. I don't know. But yeah, it might be worthwhile to talk about it. But yeah, let's just start off with Nick. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, Tim. Just grinding along.
I could hear the tears running down your face as you lie and say that.
I can't let the audience see weakness.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's good. What have you been playing? Anything interesting?
The only thing
any news to share among us?
Wow, good lead in. Yeah, that's literally the only thing I've been playing is Among Us on my iPhone. Tim, you've been joining in on your PC because you're big brain.
Yep, I spent hundreds of dollars to run a phone game. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Nick, why don't you explain quickly what it is?
It's a social deduction game, kind of like One Night Werewolf or like Mafia or like one of those kind of thief games where any number of people are imposters and the other people are crewmates. They go around trying to do their tasks, and if they are killed, when they are killed, they get to try to decipher who was the imposter or the killer.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to try to go in the chat, especially with random people, and all come to a decision.
You know what I appreciate about it is it has a nice balance of like fun stuff and like intense like stuff, but it's also very silly. Like it's even when it's most intense, like people are still joking around in the chat and stuff. So it's a nice lighthearted game.
Yeah, and like you mentioned it getting intense. Like if the number of imposters is equal to the number of crewmates, then the imposters win. So like if there's 2 imposters, which is how we've been playing, 2 imposters in 10 people. So when there's 5 people left with 2 imposters, if they get one more kill, they win. So you have to like hit the emergency button, and someone's got to get booted. You just got to decide who.
Yeah.
If you want any hope.
You know that episode of The Office? There has been a murder.
Yeah. It's a good episode.
Yeah. It's a great game. What's interesting about it is it came out in 2018, as far as I know, and it just now became popular due to like a lot of popularity on Twitch, which is kind of random that it just popped up out of nowhere. I don't know who initially like brought it back. I don't personally keep up with it that much, but
I saw something that said it was the second highest streaming game on Twitch recently.
Yeah, that's wild.
Only behind League of Legends. So that means it overtook Fortnite and Fall Guys like instantly.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Like this was a team of 3 people as far as I know. And I don't know how their game was doing beforehand, but now it's doing wow.
Good for them.
They can, I mean, if they're handling this well with monetization and stuff, they're probably going to be overnight millionaires.
Yeah.
So, good for them.
They also confirmed Among Us 2, but said it hasn't been started yet, so.
Yeah.
Don't look forward to it.
Yeah, hopefully it's one of those cases where they're able to maintain the hype enough to like get people to play it. Hopefully this isn't just a flash in the pan.
Well, maybe now they can, since it's like popular again, they can add new maps or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how it started out in 2018, but there's only 3 maps, so maybe you can add a couple more, or maybe change the game modes around a little bit somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like you can tell it's like pretty indie and pretty low budget, so it would be cool if they just like just supported it as like a live service game. This is the type of game where that model actually works because you're getting new content and it freshens up the gameplay. But yeah, I hope they add new stuff.
My one complaint though and I know you also agree with this complaint too, Tim, is that when you're playing with random people online, the moment a game starts and they're not imposter, they quit, and there's no consequence for that. I think if they want to prevent that, which is really annoying because you already start off with 2 imposters and 8 crewmates, so then like 2 people will leave, and then it's 2 and 6, so you gotta get a couple kills. But they should implement some sort of suspension system, like in like Overwatch or Rocket League.
Yeah, most games that have a competitive setting will do that. Where
I mean, it's not competitive, but it's also just annoying.
Yeah. I think it just would make the games more fun if they did that. That wouldn't be too hard to implement. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that now with like this huge base that they have. Right now, they're probably running around like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to just keep the servers going and all that stuff. Because
were you playing last night when they crashed? Right.
Yeah. I've seen that they've been crashing a lot. Which
I just want to say, Lean 7-3. If you were trying to join our game, we're sorry. We couldn't start it.
Yeah, good guy. You meet some good people out there in the chat.
Yeah, the memes are also incredible.
Yeah,
they are also incredible.
I was laughing audibly out loud, just like scrolling through the subreddit, looking at memes, which doesn't happen with like any meme very often. Where I was just consistently laughing out loud.
Fall Guys had some good ones, but I think I laugh at every single Among Us meme. Just the stupid little men, whatever they are. They just look so dumb. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's like the paired up like brutal murder with the like the cuteness of it and like the goofiness of it. It's very nice. If you like this and you want to watch a movie basically about this entire psychology, you got to watch John Carpenter's The Thing. The game is pretty much like that movie, but a video game, where there's like a secret body snatching, alien, and they have to figure out who to trust and who not to trust. Every time somebody's alone, they get murdered, that kind of thing.
One more thing I want to say in this what have I been playing section is what have I not been playing, which is the Mario 3D All-Stars collection, because Amazon, you pre-order it and they say, hey, everything's gonna be fine, but then Friday it's supposed to be delivered, and they say, oh, hold on there, guy. You gotta wait a couple more days. So, didn't come till Sunday, which is annoying in itself. And then I gotta watch football and, cry because my fantasy lineups didn't do that well.
Yeah, I won one of my games. I lost the other one.
I think I went 2-2 this week, or maybe 1-3. But then in my guillotine league, I survived. So,
yeah, this isn't a football podcast, but how about that Josh Allen kid, huh?
He's it was kind of incredible to watch. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, that was great. I saw a stat that he's one of 4 quarterbacks to in 2 games go over 700 yards with however many touchdowns.
Yeah,
like whatever. It was. Yeah, it was like him, Brady, Peyton Manning, and
just watching that game probably made me as happy as when we went to the game against Green Bay in 2014.
Oh, yeah.
And when we thought we could make the playoffs because we beat Green Bay and it was a really good win, but then the next week we went to Oakland and lost to a bad Raiders team. And
yeah, that was a letdown.
But, that Green Bay game was awesome. Still my favorite game.
That was awesome.
Tim, what have you been playing?
So, like we talked about, I've been playing Among Us a lot. Additionally, I've been I don't think last week we talked about what we've played. So I played Final Fantasy IV, which I'm not done yet, but I really like that game. That's a 1991 Super Nintendo game. I'm playing it on the PS Vita, and it's very, very good. It's just like one of the like patriarchal. Well, I don't even know if you can use that word anymore. Like one of the oldest like RPGs that kind of set a foundation for what we think of now as like a modern JRPG type game, and it's super good. The story is like surprisingly like rich and detailed for a game that old, and I've really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun with that. It's a very good Vita game because you're just kind of chilling,
Yeah.
I don't know. JRPGs are just so good for the Vita because you can kind of be doing something else and not really like lose much if you're looking away for a second. I played the Witcher 3 DLC, which I've been meaning to do for a while. So that game has 2 expansions, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine.
Hearthstone?
Eh,
I thought that was
yeah.
a
Oh, I
competitor to
wish.
Gwent.
That is true. Gwent's better.
I did play
Not
Gwent
really.
for a little while on my phone. I didn't buy anything,
Yeah.
but I did have a lot of fun with that.
I downloaded it. I don't know if I ever played, but I've heard that is like a good competitor to Hearthstone in terms of like being a little bit more fair and not as pay to win.
There's a couple weeks where I was really into it. But
Gwent is super cool. I'm glad they made a game for it. I love playing it in the actual game, but it's actually once you get all the good cards, it's like super easy. You just like steamroll everybody. I haven't lost a game in so long.
cool,
But
bro.
yeah, Hearts of Stone, really good expansion. Like one of the best expansions to any game that I've ever played. It takes everything good about the game and kind of does it. It's almost like a main story again, where you get a lot of character development and you get really cool antagonists. You get all this cool stuff. It's like a perfected quest line for the Witcher.
Wait, hold on.
You can tell.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You said it takes everything good about the game.
Oh my god.
What's good about it?
The I know this is a joke, but what's good about it is the writing in the side quests. Like they're all so uh just masterfully done.
Nah, that game's not good.
Well,
Don't lie to yourself.
how far did you get into that?
Far enough to know I didn't want to play it anymore.
Did you how many monsters did you kill? Did you kill the first monster?
Yeah.
The griffin?
Yeah.
Did you kill anything after that?
I don't remember.
That's what I thought. Yeah, it's better.
It was not enjoyable. I had no desire to play it. That's not one of the games where I've been playing and then just stop, like Spider-Man, which I haven't gotten back to yet, or the Horizons DLC. But it was just I didn't want to play it anymore.
I mean, yeah, I felt that way when I initially played it too. I actually picked it up and put it down, and then I picked it up a few years ago and had a really good time with it.
Didn't you say it took like 3 times for you to like it?
Well, the first time was like playing on Brian's, so I don't even.
Sorry, what?
I don't really count. No. I don't really count that.
If it takes 3 attempts to like a game, then it's not a good game.
I don't think that's true at all. Time and place. Plus, growing, and the first time I played that, I expected it to be Skyrim, and it wasn't, so I immediately didn't even care about it. But that's the wrong attitude going into it. But it's a very good game. And that's all I've been playing. I'll finish up Final Fantasy IV, and I will probably start Blood and Wine soon because I heard that one's even better. So I'm very excited for that. And I'll keep playing Among Us.
This is unrelated. After finishing Community, I went back and I finished Dave, Little Dicky show on Hulu. Have you watched that?
No, I haven't. How's that?
Pretty good. It's not like. Did you watch Atlanta?
No, I do want to watch that.
Atlanta is way better.
I've seen like 2 episodes.
Atlanta's way better, but like it's in the same vein as that.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
I've been watching that, so.
All about that paper boy.
So you know.
I do. That show is good. I want to watch it all the way through.
Did you watch it? I don't remember where we were, but I thought we were all together when they did the invisible car bit. The first time we all saw that.
I didn't see that.
Oh my god. That was just top tier moment ever. I think there's like a large amount of us watching it, and then they pulled that bit. It was awesome.
Nick, you want to get into the news?
Not really, but go ahead.
Well, jeez. Okay. So the biggest news is that Master Chief stole God Howard away from us. What I mean by that is Microsoft purchased Bethesda, not just Bethesda Game Studios, but the entire company, including its parent company, ZeniMax. And so that was a $7.5 billion transaction. But let's just cover a few other quick things that happened that aren't as like big of a deal. First off, Xbox pre-orders went up today and have already sold out. Microsoft is generally, I think, doing a better job about communicating. They put up a tweet. They said we're humbled by all the interest in the Xbox Series X and Series S. We'll have more available November 10th for whatever, at retail, that kind of thing. I didn't try to pre-order one. I knew they would sell out right away, and I'm also Team PlayStation for this generation. For
and
me,
you have a PC now, so it doesn't really matter.
right? Yeah, which will come in handy as we're gonna talk about later with Bethesda, because that might be the only way I'll be able to play the next Elder Scrolls. But for now, yeah, I'll stick with the PC and the PS5. I think that's like the best combo right now. Is like you kind of get the most with those two consoles. I would say, maybe throw on a Switch if you feel like it.
Yeah, you gotta get that Nintendo nostalgia in there.
Yeah, the first party machine. And then Michel Ancel is leaving the gaming industry over from Ubisoft. I can pull up his statement, but
This is interesting. I think he was working on multiple projects while he announced this, which is, I don't know if it's concerning for those projects. I know Ubisoft said that they're still going to continue working on them, but it can't be a good thing.
yeah, I mean, and there's been a lot of controversy at Ubisoft because of all that's been happening in that company, and there's been a lot of shakeups. So I'm wondering if it's related to that. It doesn't indicate that. It says he's leaving to pursue his second passion, which is wildlife. So he's that sounds weird, but he's working at a sanctuary focused on education about wildlife, which that sounds cool. Good for him. Yeah, he was currently working on Beyond Good and Evil 2. So we don't know where that stands, but yeah, this is over in France, and he's been responsible for games like Rayman, Rabbids, and the first Beyond Good and Evil. And yeah, so pretty big name, pretty big news for Ubisoft fans out there. But it seems like a lot's been happening at that company. So I would imagine it's partially tied to that at least, but I don't know for sure. Yeah, and I just wanted to throw in how good did the WandaVision trailer look? Not a video game, but
it did look awesome.
Wow. Yeah.
I was probably gonna not renew my subscription for Disney Plus, but
yeah, and that's how they get you. It's like
they got it scheduled.
They're like, oh, well, that's coming. I might as well let it roll over.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
They got it paced out perfectly. They have it mathematically. They've got like charts and prediction models, like what is like the best drip feed of content to get people to stay on, and
got the Mandalorian.
They know what they're
that comes out soon.
It does.
Season 2.
Yeah, that was great.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So it's looking good. And let's get back to Bethesda. So, $7.5 billion sale. By far, I'd say without even a question, this is the biggest purchase in video game history. The only thing like close to this would be like Square and Enix merging, and maybe Rare getting purchased, but neither of those are on this level in terms of the quality and quantity of the IP at stake here, and also just like the valuation of these developers. So we've got Elder Scrolls, we have Fallout, we have Doom, we have Quake, we have Wolfenstein. We have.
They can keep Doom.
They can keep. Jesus Christ, man! Wow.
Nah.
All kinds of Dishonored. Yeah.
That is just a crazy amount of titles.
Yeah, the list goes on and on, and these are suddenly first-party titles for Microsoft, which is insane. In one fell swoop, they've basically caught up to and possibly surpassed PlayStation in terms of notable first-party IP. How they proceed from there, it's going to be a whole different ball game than I think just the usual release a game, that type of thing. It's clear this is like a Game Pass move. All these games are coming to Game Pass right away. We don't know how exclusivity is going to be handled. They have mentioned that they're still going to be honoring the PS5 This is where it gets weird. There's PS5 exclusives from Bethesda that are coming out. Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop. And those are still being honored by Microsoft. So Microsoft will be they will be releasing PS5 exclusives, which is crazy.
Like you said before, though, I'm pretty sure that it's probably just easier for them to accept that that's a deal that's already been made. They're still gonna make money on it, so they don't care probably.
Yeah, I would imagine both of those would be timed exclusives anyways, and exactly they're profiting, and I think they're playing a whole different game anyways. So yeah, it's gonna be weird. They did indicate that some games will be coming to quote Xbox, PC, and other consoles on a case by case basis, which leads me to believe one, Nintendo Switch, they're going to keep that partnership going, I'm sure, in cases where that's appropriate. I don't think the Switch is going to be able to handle, your next new Fallout or Elder Scrolls game, but I'm sure some of these titles are going to go to Switch. And, for some of the big titles, I'm hoping they keep those, open to everybody. Like I want Elder Scrolls 6 to be on the PlayStation 5.
They're just going to re-release Skyrim again.
Yeah, I'm sure. But, one big thing they can do is, this is still where they could make up a lot of ground, even if they do take it to PlayStation, is release Fallout or Skyrim, not Skyrim, but Elder Scrolls. You release it on PlayStation for $70, but make it free on Game Pass. And suddenly, who's going to actually play on PlayStation when that's an option?
I still will.
I think, I still will too.
Unless I build a PC by then, we'll see.
Right. Yeah. I'll probably go PC if it, I'd have to check the specs when it comes out. I'm guessing by the time it comes out, I'm going to need new parts for my PC anyways, so we'll see. But yeah, what do you think overall about this? It's pretty shocking news. Yeah,
it's a big shakeup in the industry. I was reading something earlier talking about monopolies, and their source for the article was, I think it was one of like Microsoft's lawyers, and he was like, "It's definitely not a monopoly," and he listed some reasons, and I was like, "Are you sure we should be trusting you about that?"
Yeah, it seems like the lawyer for Microsoft probably isn't the source you want to go to for that comment, but regardless, it may be totally clean legally, but in terms of the philosophy going into the design behind these games, I'd have to imagine that suddenly is different now.
This is such a complete 180 approach from what PlayStation and Sony have been doing with their consoles and games and first party stuff. And I wish I could go like 10 years in the future and just see how this all turns out for both sides.
Yeah.
Because PlayStation's doing the more traditional stuff, but this is unheard of stuff from Microsoft.
Yeah, and it reminds me a lot of Disney, where Disney can, and Google, they can pretty much pay whatever they want to break into a market with very little effort just by dropping a bunch of money.
Stadia.
Yeah. You don't need, like, $7.5 billion. PlayStation, Sony does not have that kind of money to throw around. Not in the same way Microsoft does. Nintendo definitely doesn't. Like, this is something only Microsoft or Google could do if they wanted to. And it's like, it's huge. It's crazy. I think when the source of revenue changes, the philosophies that go into game design also change. For instance, when mobile games it all became focused around free games, freemium games, or 99-cent and under games, where you suddenly couldn't make money charging $10 for a mobile game. Suddenly, all the games that came out started to change. They were more focused around, almost casino-like visuals to grab your attention on an ad, to get clicks, to, sell ads, and to sell microtransactions. So, since Game Pass provides a different source of revenue, we don't know how this is going to affect game development, but I'm certain it will affect it in some way, positive or negative.
Yeah, is the company going to make money? I don't know how I want to word this. How is Bethesda going to make their money on these sales if there are no sales, if it's just going straight to Game Pass?
Right. And they get the money up front from Microsoft.
But what if it sells more than that? Is there clauses? Is it like
yeah, they may be compensated per download, per share. Those are a lot of questions, and it's a thing where it's like, yeah, how do you when Netflix puts a movie out, how are they compensated? What's like streams versus ticket sales? It's harder to quantify, and that's where I'm a little trepidatious because I don't want to see. Maybe I do want to see. Maybe they'll be good, but games are not currently being designed for Game Pass. If they are, they're just coming out now. But in the past few years, games have been coming on Game Pass that were designed for retail. We have yet to see a wave of games that have been designed with Game Pass in mind. And in my mind, what that looks like is a shorter dev cycle, more focused on keeping you playing, kind of like Destiny or something like that. Persistence, where you don't want to give your Game Pass up because you don't want to lose the game, right? And less so something like Red Dead Redemption or The Last of Us or Skyrim or Fallout, where they're more singular single player experiences, that kind of thing. So, and they take, over half a decade to develop. I don't think that's going to be as profitable on Game Pass. I think you want a quicker turnaround with your games.
This is just going to be interesting to see how this all plays out in the future.
Yeah. One thing, this is similar to when Disney bought out Fox, and against, obviously I was like, oh, monopolies are bad. This kind of thing is bad. But I was like, now the Fantastic Four might be in the MCU. And what's kind of like that is like, well, now Obsidian and Bethesda are in the same place, and Obsidian might be able to make another Fallout game again, which is cool. And Obsidian actually like quote tweeted somebody who was asking that question, like, "Oh, is Fallout New Vegas possible now? New Vegas 2, I mean." And they did like a shrug emoji, so it's like they don't really know, but that would be that'd be cool in the future.
I've been actually thinking about Outer Worlds a lot lately for some reason. It's like, I don't know, a very colorful environment that I really did enjoy my time with that game.
Yeah, and I think that's one benefit of going to Microsoft is and going first party is, Bethesda games have always been janky. Obsidian games, kind of are too. When you have that first party money guaranteed, you don't have to worry about not selling your game and stuff. You can take a little more time, maybe a little more effort, if Microsoft is willing to bend on that and kind of polish it up a little bit more. That's how you get a game like The Last of Us. Those can't really be made without a first party partnership. So it may lead to better games, but maybe not for PlayStation players.
If anything, this thing makes me want to buy a PC way more than I had already wanted to, which was already high.
Yeah, and for me, it's like, I wish I knew this almost a month ago when I was picking out all my parts, because I probably would have future-proofed it a bit more, because I was like, I got the PS5 for my hardcore games, Elder Scrolls, stuff like that. Now it's kind of like, maybe I should have bumped up some of the parts a little bit more, because I was thinking more about playing current games that are unavailable on PS4 and PS5 and stuff like that, like RTS games, strategy games, your civs, stuff like that. Now it's like, oh man, it's like, wow, some of my favorite games from my favorite developer may not be available to me on the PS5. So, somewhere down the line, I may have to, polish up a few parts.
Switch to the dark side.
Yeah, well, that's what's great about PCs, though, is that it's all modular. So, if I want to bump my, CPU up or something, I can. So I do like that.
Pros and cons. I get a I get a PS5 and it's set for 7 years. So
yeah, I mean that's you can't understate that, where it's just you take it out of the box, you're playing a game in less than 5 minutes, right? As soon as you turn it on, you set your profile up and you're playing. And PCs just aren't like that. They require work. They require keeping up to date on software, all the parts and stuff. But it does allow you to tweak it and kind of like spend how much you want to spend and get how much you want to get out of it. And modded Skyrim,
I know someone who has a PC and pretty much all they play is modded New Vegas. He says that he has just hundreds and hundreds and thousands of hours in it, and that's literally all he plays.
Yeah, good for him.
Back to like the Game Pass mobile game pricing type thing. Watching someone that I know that plays Clash of Clans and them talking about how they justify their purchases in the game is just like because there's a difference between me and you playing Fortnite back when we were into that and buying some coins for a cool skin.
Right.
I think because we realized what we were doing. It's just we want a cool skin. But for a Clash of Clans player to say, oh, if I spend $10 on the season pass, I get 15,000 gems and I upgrade my tower. Where's the end there? Like, is that you're just gonna have to upgrade your tower again, and you're just gonna buy the next pass for more gems, and I don't know.
Man, I don't know those games, but that is a prime example of, when the source of income changes, the games do change. You can't find good mobile games anymore. Back in I don't know, it's one of the few cases where games have regressed. Like, generally speaking, PS4 games are higher quality than PS3 games, right? That's not a controversial statement. Yeah. Mobile games are far less quality than the ones that came out in 2010, 2011, that era, where you could actually spend maybe $5, $10, $15 on an actual cool game. IGN used to review mobile games. They don't do that now.
Because nowadays they all reach a critical point where if you want to keep playing, you have to pay for it.
Right, it's just a race to the bottom. Yeah. It's like it would make just as much sense for IGN to review slot machines.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So hopefully, I'm hoping Game Pass. What I worry is that when you start introducing stuff like that, you devalue the product. So I'm hoping what Microsoft isn't doing is devaluing the product at the cost of, or getting a lot of market share at the cost of devaluing the product, because they can if they want. They've proven it right here. They can drop more money than anyone can drop.
$7.5 billion is so much.
If they wanted to, they probably could buy up more studios. They could buy everything other than what PlayStation own and Nintendo owns, and basically own all the games. Not that would ever happen, but it's just, you can spend a lot of money, but you do have to take care of the market that you have then taken upon yourself to run.
Yeah.
They have to ensure that these games are the same quality as what was being put out, or else it doesn't matter what you paid for. Apparently Bethesda is worth $7.5 billion, which is almost twice as much as the Star Wars franchise, which is, just think on that for a second. That's insane.
How long do you think it'll take for them to make their money back on that? I don't understand. Not that I don't understand. I just have no clue how that would work.
In terms of a one-to-one selling games and making their money back, probably a really long time. But if you want to factor in the non-tangible stuff like public perception going up, awareness going up, selling more Xboxes, selling Game Pass, I think this is all about Game Pass for them. I think they don't really care if these games, they don't care if Elder Scrolls 6 makes enough to pay back however much they thought that franchise was worth. They just want people to get Game Pass and abandon everything else because they know what's coming up. Video games are huge in terms of profits. They we know these stats. They make more than anything. I'm pretty sure they make more than music, TV, and movies combined.
How much does Game Pass cost? I thought it was still only $1 a month for most people.
No, that was a trial thing, but they just raised the prices to $15 a month, I believe.
Oh, that's more acceptable then. When I think about Game Pass, I still think about $1 a month, and it doesn't.
Yeah, that'd be insane. I mean, 15 still doesn't make a lot of sense. That's only 3 AAA games a year. So if Microsoft releases 3 AAA games a year, it already pays for itself, regardless of all the other games you get with it. There's no doubt about it. It's a great deal. It's just a question of how long is it going to be a great deal for once they have made it so that there's no other options, right? That's where the concern comes in. Because, I don't know. If they know a Netflix for video games is the future, and they want to be the first ones to do it. And that's why they're dropping $7.5 billion.
Yeah.
I don't think they could make that much money back with just Bethesda games.
I saw rumors, little whispers in the night that they weren't done either. That they were going to buy other things, other companies. So.
Yeah, I could believe it.
Keep your eye out for that.
Stay tuned, as they say.
Stay tuned.
They do say that.
Well, Nick, I'd say we had a good discussion here.
Yeah. We did.
And it's about time to wrap it up.
I think it is.
Everybody, go look up some nice like Bethesda memes. There's some good ones out there.
And Among Us memes.
And Among Us memes. Yep, play Among Us. And yeah, I think that's all we have for now. So I will. I'll ask you where they can find us.
They can find us on Twitter at Pseudo Ludo Cast. They can find us on Instagram at Pseudo Ludo Pod, and they can find us on YouTube as well. Well, they can't really find us on YouTube. They find a still thumbnail as our podcast plays in the background. But
yeah,
still helps.
It still helps. Yeah. So thank you so much for listening. Please, if you listened, drop us a like, drop us a quick 5-star review on your podcast service. That all would mean the world to us.
Comment, DM us.
Yeah,
we'll answer some questions.
If you got a question for the show, let us know.
I know some of Tim's
hit us
secrets.
up on Twitter. Yeah. We'll give you. We know Todd Howard told me the release date of Elder Scrolls 6. But he said I can only tell it to people who subscribe to us. So
he is a friend of the show.
He is, yeah, good guy. But yeah, just like that, it just works, So, all right, Nick, I'll see you next week.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye.